Hey everyone! In today's GCSE Maths, we are starting equation of a circle and its tangent, which is definitely helpful for whether you are doing AQA or Edexcel. So I'm starting with the very basic, which is the definition of circle. A circle is a set of all the points in a plane that are at a fixed distance from a fixed point. That means if there are so many points, this is the fixed point here, that's your center. And if there are so many points like this, and these all points are at the same distance from your center. So if you join all of them together, you'll get the circle, and that's the basic definition of it. So today we are actually doing the equation of a circle and tangent. And for the equation of a circle, your radius is very important. From the definition, we understood that these all points have the same distance from the center, and that's your radius. And this will give us the equation of the circle, which is actually x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. Now, this is not actually the standard equation. The standard equation is actually x minus h whole squared plus y minus k whole squared is equals to r squared, whereas h and k are the center of the circle. But in the GCSEs, I'm not talking about the further maths GCSE, simple maths GCSE, we always have to take the center as 0, 0. That means this is the only equation that we have to learn about. So if a circle has a center 0, 0 and a radius is r, then the equation of the circle will always be x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. That's written here. Now let me see the definition. How can we derive this one? So as I told you, the distance from that fixed point to the point that is lying on the circumference of a circle is your radius. That means if I have taken this point P, x, y and the center 0, 0, the distance between these two is basically your radius. And I have to use the same to find the equation of a circle by applying the distance formula or Pythagoras theorem. They basically are the same. the distance formula is actually derived from Pythagoras theorem. So if I apply a distance formula, so when we apply distance formula, the formula is x1 minus x2 whole squared plus y1 minus y2 whole squared is equals to d squared, or d is equals to root of x1 minus x2 whole squared, y1 minus y2 whole squared, whereas this d is the distance between the 2 points, and 2 points are x1 y1 and x2 y2. So I'm again repeating, if I want to calculate the distance between the 2 points are x1 y1 and x2 y2, then the formula is d is equals to root of, d represents the distance between them, d is equals to root of x1 minus x2 whole squared plus y1 minus y2 whole squared. So same formula I'm applying here to get the distance between the center and the point on the circumference. Here in the diagram you can see one of our point is the center, which is 0, 0, and another point is x, y, which is lying on the circumference of the circle, and this distance is actually radius. So I can write that radius is actually equals to x1 minus x2. So in this case, x minus 0 whole squared plus y minus 0 whole squared. If I square both the sides, I'll get x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared, and that's the equation, and hence we have derived this one. Now let me do two questions. They are very simple. Question 1 says, find the equation of a circle with center 0, 0 and radius 5 centimeters. We know that the standard equation is what? X squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. And the radius is given as 5. So all I need to do is put r is equals to 5 centimeters. And my answer will be x squared plus y squared is equals to 5 squared, which is 25. And that's your answer. Next is find the center and the radius of the circle with equation x squared plus y squared is equals to 169. So we have this equation x squared plus y squared is equals to 169, and I need to write it in its extended form, which is x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. And clearly 169 is a perfect square, is a square of 13. So I can write it as x squared plus y squared is equals to 13 squared, which clearly gives me idea that r is equals to 13. If I compare it with the standard equation, that is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So your r is 13. And center is obviously 0, 0. Now the next is equation of the tangent. The tangent is a straight line that touches a curve, any curve or circle, because circle is also a kind of curve. So any curve including the circle, if it's touching at only one point, that straight line is called tangent of the circle, which you can clearly see here. This is a straight line, this one here is a straight line, and it's clearly touching your circle at one point, and hence this is your tangent. Since tangent is a straight line, so if I want to calculate the equation of this tangent, it has to be in a form of y equals mx plus c. So it doesn't matter if your straight line is a tangent and whatever it goes by the name. If it's a straight line, the equation is always in a form of y is equals to mx plus c. So to find the equation, all we need to do is find the value of gradient and c, and we'll find the equation of the tangent. In this case, for the circle, we have to keep in mind few things. Let me see how we can find the equation. Because if we have only one point lying on the tangent, in generally, the question is given as that this is the equation of the circle and the tangent is at this given point, and you have to find the equation of the tangent. So say for example, this is given as that center is 0, 0, and there is a point P on which we have a tangent, and let's say this point be 1, 2. That's given in the question. Either they'll give you the equation of the circle or they'll give you like this. In both ways, we know that the center is always going to be a 0, 0, and the important point is they will give you the point at which we have a tangent. Now understand this one. If we have just one single point, we cannot find the gradient. Well, in calculus we can do, but here if I say we can't do by applying the simple gradient formula. For that we have to have 2 points, and for that we first have to calculate the gradient of this radius, because this radius have 2 points. So why I'm not opting for gradient of the tangent? Because I have only 1 point, so I'm just looking for the alternative, and I found that with the radius. So radius has the 2 points, so I can easily calculate the gradient of the radius. So gradient of the radius is going to be change in y over change in x, that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is your 2, y1 is your 0. So y2 minus y1, 2 minus 0 over x2 minus x1, that is 1 minus 0. So that gives me gradient as 2. So we got to know that the gradient of this radius is 2. Now, we will be studying in circle theorem. Actually, I have already made the video on circle theorem, and it is, if you haven't studied, so let me tell you that the angle between the radius and the tangent is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees, and it's always. Now this will help me in finding the gradient of the tangent, because we know that if two lines are perpendicular, their gradients are negative reciprocal of each other. So that means suppose m1 is the gradient of one line and m2 is the gradient of another line, and these two lines are perpendicular. Perpendicular, that means making 90 degrees. In that case, they are the negative reciprocal of each other. Because I know that the gradient of radius is 2, so gradient of tangent will be negative reciprocal of that, which is negative 1 over 2. So we have the gradient as negative. half. So y is equals to mx plus c, and we have already calculated the gradient, which is negative half. So y equals negative x by 2 plus c. All we need to do is find the value of c, and for that we already have this point 1 comma 2. This is very obvious. What you have to keep in mind, doesn't matter if it's a straight line, circle, or the equation of any curve, if the point is lying on that curve, it should satisfy the equation. That means I can substitute the value of x and y in that equation. Suppose if you want to find the x coordinate and y coordinate is not given, like y coordinate is already given, and you have to find the x coordinate, and the equation of a circle is given. So you just need to substitute the value of x there, so that, or like y, whatever be the value of any particular variable given, you can substitute in the equation to get the other remaining coordinate. Say for example, your equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared is equals to 4. And we know that there is a point lying on the circumference of the circle. The point is 1 comma y. I want to know what's the value of that y. So I can substitute x is equals to 1 because it's actually lying on it. So it's a part of that circle. So 1 squared plus y squared is equals to 4. So y is equals to 3. Y squared is 3 and y will be root of 3. And this way I can find the other point. Same I'm doing here. In order to find the value of c, I am substituting x and y here, and x is 1, y is 2. So x is 1, that will give me negative half, and y is 2. Bring it here, that will give me 2 plus half equals c, which is 5 over 2 equals c. And now my final equation will be y is equals to mx plus c, that is minus x by 2 plus 5 by 2. Let me do one question. Find the equation of a tangent on a circle x squared plus y squared equals 169 at point 5 comma y. So same thing. I was telling you that if you don't have one point, because if you want to calculate the equation of the tangent, you should know the complete point, both the values of the point lying on it. And we don't have the value of y. So first thing is to find that by substituting value here. So let me substitute x as 5. So that will give me 25 plus y squared is equals to 169. Y squared equals 169 minus 25. That will give me 144. On taking the root, y is equals to, I'll get plus minus 12 actually. So I can substitute both the values in this case. Okay, but I'm explaining you by taking plus 12. If it isn't mentioned specifically by giving, say for example in your question, it's like this. So you'll get to know that, okay, your point is lying in the first quadrant and hence I have to take the positive value. Here, it's not mentioned anyway whether it's going to be positive or negative, so we have to solve with both. So let me explain you how we can use, let's say I'm taking positive value. So that will be 5 comma 12 is my point. So this is the circle and we have this point 5 comma 12 and this is the tangent. I told you that we cannot find the gradient of this tangent until we don't have the other point, and for that we'll start with this radius. Obviously the equation is x squared plus y squared is equals to 169. So I'm going to take 0 comma 0 and let me find the gradient of this radius, which is change in y over change in x. 12 minus 0 over 5 minus 0, that is 12 over 5. If the gradient of radius is 12 over 5, then obviously the gradient of tangent is going to be negative reciprocal, which is negative 5 over 12. Y is equals to negative 5 over 12x plus c. Now I need to substitute this value of x as 5 and y as 12 so that I can calculate the value of c. So y is 12 and x is 5. And bring it here. So it will give you 12 plus 25 over 12 is equals to C. Or 144 plus 25 over 12 is equals to C. That is 169 by 12. And that's your C. So your final equation is y is equals to minus 5 over 12x plus 169 over 12. Similarly, if you are taking negative 12, so obviously because it's 0, 0, so it has to be like this. And then your tangent would be like this. So that will give you 5, negative 12. It's not definitely accurate, it's a rough one. So same process I'll be using. First, start with finding the gradient of this radius. Obviously, the gradient will change now as the points have changed. The value of radius will remain same, but the points can change obviously. Gradient will change obviously because the steepness have changed. So gradient is change in y or change in x, that is minus 12 over 5. So gradient of radius is minus 12 over 5. Then gradient of tangent will be negative reciprocal, so it's going to be 5 over 12. So y is equals to mx plus c, 5 over 12x plus c. And we just need to substitute the value of y and x. X is minus 12, y is 5. So x is 5 and y is minus 12 plus c, bring it here, minus 12 minus 25 over 12 equals c. There was another way also we could have calculated, but like this one is much more simpler. So minus 144 minus 25 over 12, that will give me minus 169 by 12. So my final equation is y is equals to 5 over 12x minus 169 over 12. So this was basically in the theory of equation of a circle and equation of the tangent that will help you in cracking this particular topic in your GCSEs. This was the theory one, and obviously if you need the questions, so the next video will be on the questions on this topic, and we will be doing some simple to some very hard questions in it. And also if you're looking for one-on-one live online classes or for the group online classes, all you need to do is just email us at igcse@gmail.com, and we have a panel of experienced tutors as well as the university students as well. And university students have like pretty good grades in their GCSEs, and they are actually from grammar schools, plus they have a minimum experience of 3 years, and all of that at very affordable rates. So all you need to do is just email us at igcse@gmail.com, and also if you are looking for the free worksheets, they are available on our website, which is www.igcseacademy.com. So that's it for today. Bye everyone. Take care.